All right, every Tuesday morning right here on Off the Bench, we welcome in the LSU head football coach as the Tigers back in action after a week off last week dealing with some COVID issues around the team. Seem like they are healthy and good to go this Saturday. Right now scheduled to play Arkansas at Tiger Stadium at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Your coverage will begin at 7 a.m. on Eagle 98.1. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show.
Hey, Coach, we're going to start a bit serious topic here. Yesterday, obviously, that USA Today article released yesterday. I know you addressed it at the top of your press conference, but, we have a lot of listeners here that maybe didn't hear the presser yesterday. I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of reiterate what you had to say yesterday.
Yeah, obviously, I said what I needed to say, but, there's no room for that. We'll not tolerate that. I followed every Title IX rule I need to do. As soon as I hear something, I report it. And that's all I want to say about that. But there's no room for that in football. And we will not tolerate that here at LSU.
And so now moving on to the actual football this weekend, how did you handle this last weekend, Coach, with the game postponed? I think you think you're playing Arkansas this weekend. I guess I don't 100% guarantee. How do you handle that from a game planning standpoint? And what did y'all do over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday period?
Yeah, well, we treated it like an open date again. And we went into full Arkansas game plan as soon as we found out that we wasn't playing. We got a couple of days on Arkansas, and now we're going to repeat that game plan. We should be ready to go. The players had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I watched a lot of football, hung out, worked out, got ready to go. And our guys came back with a renewed spirit. Terrace Marshall had a nice little team meeting, players-only meeting yesterday, talking about the significance of us finishing hard these last 5 games. And great leadership. I thought we had one of our best practices yesterday.
Yeah, Coach, it was great to hear you talk about Marshall and his coming to you yesterday morning and urging you and allowing him to speak to the team. Is that something that you've been wanting from your team, a little bit of leadership from within?
Yes. Yeah, so, it's their team. And the better leadership we have in the locker room, the better football team we're going to be. Obviously, better coaching. We need to coach them better. And the leadership has to pick up, and I'm glad to see that Terrence did that yesterday.
What is the health and status? How do you feel about the status of your team going into Saturday after last week's uncertainty?
No, we had a full team meeting room yesterday. I didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
the quarterback line, the stretch lines had more than one guy in. So, yeah, we got most of our guys back. Miles is still out. We got only a couple of guys out with the COVID or in quarantine, but most of our team is back, ready to go.
Coach, when you talk about getting ready for this game, you're going against a very good defensive coordinator in Barry Odom. He now has 2 games worth of film to work off of when you're talking about how he may want to attack these young quarterbacks. When y'all are game planning, do you approach, you say, we're going to do what we want to do and then we'll counter whatever Odom brings to us, or do you try to kind of preempt him in that chess match and do something differently that he hasn't seen before?
Well, it's in between. First of all, we got to do what we can do first, especially with a young quarterback on the road. And what I told our staff, what I told our team is we have to win the turnover battle. We went on the road last time against Auburn, and obviously 3 turnovers led to 21 points. So, number one, you have to win the turnover battle. In order to do that, we got to make less mistakes. And give TJ or Max, whoever it may be, a job that they can do without turning the football over. That's the number one thing. Then you got to win the line of scrimmage. Yep. So Barry Odom's done a great job. He dropped 8 against Ole Miss. I think he had 6 picks. He's done a tremendous job. He's a great defensive coordinator. But we're going to plan for everything. He's basically a 4-3 guy. Cover 1, cover 4, and some drop 8. We'll plan for everything.
And when you talk about the offensive line, to me, that was the difference between the South Carolina and the Auburn game. It was their best game versus their worst game. What did the film reveal? Why did it go so wrong about Auburn with Auburn, and then how do you get it fixed going forward?
Yeah, just you got beat physically. We weren't ready to play for some reason. Maybe underestimated Auburn's defensive line. I don't know that. But we didn't play our best game. We did not play anywhere near we played against South Carolina. So hopefully we learned the lesson. Hopefully we play better. I'm thinking maybe we may get Darren Rosenthal back. I'm not for sure yet, but I'm expecting him to come back this week. I think that would help us big on the offensive line.
And then what about defensively? I know that going into the Auburn game, we had kind of talked a lot about the need to set the edge, maintain, contain. That didn't always happen against Auburn. Where are y'all at in terms of those defensive fundamentals?
Well, we worked on that hard at open date, and I met with, watched every explosive play with the defense. We came up with some solutions. We're doing a couple of different things as far as to set the edge or to make sure that we have force there. We still got a ways to go, but I think we've improved over the last 2 weeks.
You mentioned the timeline or the status of Miles Brennan, Coach, and his uncertainty moving forward. What are you looking at of your two freshman quarterbacks this week before you name a starter on Saturday?
Well, first of all, I love the way TJ took every rep last week. He didn't blink. He got better. Max worked out on his own, came back ready to go. Let them compete this week. Max would have to have a tremendous practice, and TJ would have to have a bad practice. We're not to start TJ, obviously, because TJ's been there doing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I still plan on, if we start TJ, I still plan on playing both if I can.
And I remember, I think, was it last week, Coach, you were talking about how kind of the writing was on the wall. You maybe thought the game was going to be canceled. Like, how long have y'all kind of been preparing to take on the Hogs?
We've had 2 good days, last Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was the first down day against Arkansas. As soon as we found out, like 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And then Thursday was the third down day at Arkansas. So obviously, we had all Sunday to prepare. The coaches did. So we feel like we're ahead. We feel like we'll repeat the game plan this week. These guys should be able to go out there and perform with less mental errors and play better football.
And what about the schedule changes going forward? I mean, I know that we've talked to you in the past, being like, look, I know as much as y'all do, but what are the latest that you're hearing in terms of making up these games, the flexibility they're in? Have y'all heard anything from the league office, like even about this weekend?
Nothing. I know we're playing this weekend, as far as I know.
Wow.
But that's it. And we don't know anything else. It's a very fluid situation. Commissioner Sankey told us, hey, be ready. We had a lot of Zoom meetings. Be ready. We're going to have to stay on the moves, be able to adjust, whatever it may be. So whatever they tell us to play, we're going to play.
Ed Orgeron joining us here, LSU head football coach, each week here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. It seems like Arkansas followed the blueprint of what LSU did in finding you. You were a guy that stated you were going to organize the program, bring in the best players and the coaches to make it a championship program. You've done that. It seems like Sam Pittman kind of fits that mold in Fayetteville. What do you see from the similarities from what they have going on and what you guys have here in Baton Rouge and kind of your relationship with Pittman?
Yeah. Coach Pittman came up to me in the SEC coaches meeting and wanted to thank me for paving the way for line coaches to get head jobs in the SEC. And I told him thank you, but I think he's done a tremendous job. I think he's got some great coordinators. Kendall Brown's doing a great job on offense. They brought back some fire in this football team. Remember, this is basically the same talent of the team that they had last year, but they brought an influx of enthusiasm, great fundamental football. You can see these guys playing better, playing together. I'm very impressed with the job that he's done.
Coach, interesting. Entering this weekend, Arkansas seemed pretty consistent this year, but there is no doubt that in terms of talent, y'all have some more talented players, right? One of those guys would be Arik Gilbert. Do you think Tiger fans this weekend can expect to see a game plan that tries to feature him a bit more, maybe like goes out of its way to at times?
Yeah, we have to give him the ball early and more often. We didn't give him the ball enough in the Auburn game and Missouri game. We had some great plays dialed up for him. It's a shame he wasn't in on the right play when we threw it to Torrey. I think he'd have scored, but that's neither here or there. But we need to give him the ball more early and often. He deserves it. He's a great player.
And then one of the other rotations that I know we've kind of analyzed and picked apart a lot this year has been that running back rotation. Has there been any update in that regard? Has anybody continued to kind of assert themselves as he will be the guy?
Well, all we had was Chris Curry last week.
Huh.
So those guys are coming back this week. John and Tyron are coming back. So hopefully they're in good shape and they'll be able to play. We have to see as the week goes on.
You mentioned Dare yesterday, and then you mentioned him again this morning. When would you find out on his status?
I think it's day by day. I think there's some things that have to be finalized in order for him to come back, and that could happen any moment.
You got to like what you've seen out of Cam Wire, huh?
Yeah, very impressed with Cam. Cam has gotten bigger, stronger, has actually played very well.
Coach Ed Orgeron taking it on the road this weekend as LSU will take on Arkansas, 11 a.m., Eagle 98.1. Coach, thank you for the time as always.
Thank you, guys. Go Tigers.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Coach.
There's Coach O checking in from LSU football this morning as the Tigers are getting up to Arkansas for their next game here. As we said last night, there were a couple of reports out of Ole Miss. Their athletic directors, Keith Carter, over there said that Ole Miss was watching and could possibly play Mississippi State, could possibly play LSU. That was going to be contingent on those two teams and their opponents this weekend. So we will wait and see. But as of now, as you heard there, the latest from the Tiger football coach, Ed Orgeron, LSU is preparing for a road trip to Arkansas on Saturday morning as they will take on the Hogs. When we come back, we will close out hour number one right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and Tebow.